Just welcome everyone. We are so excited for everyone to be here. We are going to Panama in the end of April 2023, and we would just love you to join us. We have lots of amazing things planned. And let me just tell you a bit about the cruise. Okay, so it is a 15-day cruise through the Panama Canal, and it is we are going to aboard the Celebrity Millennium, and that is what we were on board before when we went to Alaska, so it's the same ship. And we start in Fort Lauderdale, and we are sailing through the Caribbean, then through the Panama Canal, and we end up in Los Angeles. It's a total of 15 days, 15. And on top of these 3 ports of call, there are 5 more ports of call. We go to Cartagena, Colombia. We are going to Cologne, Panama. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Punta Neres, Costa Rica. Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And there's one more in there, Puerto Quetzal in Guatemala.
Quetzal.
Okay, there are 7 days at sea, and Angie and I will be offering a Sampler Plus sewing school on board. And the people that come with us will be the first people to receive next year's 100 Days, 100 Blocks pattern, which we have called Maple and Eucalyptus. Plus, on top of that layout, there will be 2 other special layouts that we will discuss in class. We're calling it the expansion pack. And they're 2 special layouts that we've each designed individually. The classes are half day. You get to choose to be in either the morning classes or the afternoon classes. You'll be with a cohort of people. Like that doesn't change. If you're in the morning, you're in the morning. If you're in the afternoon, you're afternoon. And the people who have already booked, they get first choice. So it's first come, first served. All the irons and the cutting boards will be provided, as well as the sewing machines. Our tour provider, our tour director, Ray, is providing all the sewing machines, and a tech will be on board. So if you have any problems dealing with any of them, there'll be somebody there to solve them. And will teach us how to use them. All you need for the sewing school is a general toolkit, sewing kit, just the tools that you like to use. We will also have a Zoom meeting 6 weeks ahead of time, just to talk about the kit and the fabrics that you need and the yardage and the pattern. We are also planning for an excursion 1 day before the cruise of a shop hop through Fort Lauderdale. Only for cruise members. And you can purchase your fabric there, or any sharps that you don't want to take on the plane and things like that. The Celebrity Cruise itself includes the following. The 15-night cruise aboard the Celebrity Millennium in whatever type of state class accommodation you want, stateroom class. All meals on board are included, including a 24-hour room service, beers, spirits, cocktails, liqueurs, frozen drinks, wines by the glass, soda, juices, specialty coffee, and bottled water. It includes gratuity, surf Wi-Fi package, onboard entertainment, including the shows and the comedy clubs and the bars and the lounges. There is age-appropriate programming for the kids, and you've got use of the fitness facilities, the pools and the hot tubs, the sports court, taxes, fee, and port charges, and of course, you get to be with us. The very first night, there's going to be a meet and greet, and that's about it. I'm going to bring on Angie and Ray here for, is there anything else that I haven't covered? Ray, you're still just off-centered. You need to move into the Middle of the frame. There we go. So, Ray, have I missed anything?
No, actually, you're quite on cue. Very good. You tell you're an experienced cruiser now.
I can't tell you how much I enjoyed the ship last year. I really, really enjoyed cruising up to Alaska. And I hate to say it, I had on my down jacket for the first time today in a little while, and it was a little upsetting. Haven't had it on since last year.
Can I just quickly ask a question? Corinne's asking how many guests on the cruise ship, Ray?
All right. So the cruise ship is up to 2,400 passengers, but we just got off of a cruise literally day before yesterday in Hawaii. We went from Vancouver to Hawaii, and Celebrity is not booking the ships at full capacity, at 100 capacity yet. I don't know what it will be in April, but to say the least, I would say at least 75% will be up to 75%, not 80% of capacity.
So just in case anybody heard that, I'm afraid your mic's just a little bit scratchy, Ray. I'm just going to repeat that. So you're saying that the Celebrity is booking their ships around 75% capacity, and it can hold about 2,000 passengers?
That is correct.
Okay.
Can I have next question comes from Roberta, and it's a corker. When can you select and book your shore excursions? Because Roberta's got 2 she really wants to do, and I'm assuming one of those is the shop hop.
Is Roberta booked on the cruise already? Once you're booked, once your deposit is made for the cruise itself, Celebrity will open up. They'll notify you. Minimum, they'll open up at least 120 days, if not more, prior to the cruise, so that you can go ahead and book excursions, Celebrity sponsored, provided excursions, as well as specialty dining and things like that on board the ship.
So you're saying 120 days?
Coming through. I would say it'll be about 120 days. They're running about 6 months behind a little. You know, things are still, we've been cruising this year already, but everything is slowly trying to go back to the way it used to be. It used to be as soon as you booked, you were able to go and do the excursions, book your excursions, things like that. It's been about 120 days, maybe 160 days that they'll make it open. And once you are booked and you've created your online account with Celebrity, which we will talk you through all of that as well, you'll get notifications from Celebrity when things are available, when you can start booking your excursions, when you can start booking if you choose to do select specialty dining on board, or anything that requires a reservation. And of course, we'll let you know as soon as we know.
Okay, so I want to know, Roberta, what are those 2 excursions that you want to book so badly? Do I want to book them?
Yeah.
So Love in Seattle, which just quietly, I like the name, has asked, are there activities for the non-quilting husbands? Ironing and pressing, I would think.
You know, Karen. Yes, Karen's husband was on our cruise to Alaska, and we had a few other husbands on board as well. There's plenty to do. The entire ship is open for you, and all the activities that they have scheduled on board the ship. Just to give you an example, on our Hawaii trip that we just got off of, we had 5 days at sea crossing the Pacific Ocean, and there was a minimum of 60 to 65 daily activities, and we had no husbands that were aboard.
Well, I know personally my husband, he has a number of like programs that he likes to work with. And he spent a lot of his downtime, just finding a nice quiet corner in the cafe. He got to the point where the waitresses knew who he was every day, taking up his corner. But that was one of the real pleasant things about the trip to Alaska, was how the husbands got along. Like they not only did we have something in common, all the husbands had something in common, having a spouse that quilted. And really enjoyed their company.
Okay, I've got a question from Crafted In. They have asked how many will be in our group. So this is where those cohorts come into play, which I think's a good thing.
We are looking for 20 in both sewing cohorts. That's the capacity of the sewing segment of it. But with spouses, not everybody's traveling with a spouse. Some people are traveling with another quilter. So I think our group is probably going to end up around the 60 person range. And I just see Elizabeth Huffman in the chat. I am so glad that you're on board for the next one. And her husband, David, they were a delight, and they're going to be with us again.
So that follows on to Crafted By has also asked how many will be traveling solo. We can't really answer that question, obviously, with any sort of accuracy, because people have to book and we're not psychic. But if we were, what fun would we have? So that's not really something we can talk to, but we can let you know that we do everything we can to, if you are traveling solo, partner you with someone if that's what you want to do, if you want to share a room. So there are those options there. I see Denise is saying that she would be going solo if she was going. So maybe Crafted By and Denise could meet afterwards and have a chat. But yeah, so we will give you opportunity to socialize and meet the people that we'll be cruising with virtually before we go. And then obviously there's meet and greets and the shop hop and stuff like that. So we do everything we can to make sure that whether you're traveling with your husband, your best friend, your mother, like I am, that we have you covered and that you're not alone and left wandering the moors, if that makes sense.
And if you're speaking to the accommodation part of it, like you can't afford to travel single, we do have one person traveling single at the moment. But we also have Tracy in the group. Tracy from Florida, she traveled single last year, and she just paired up with somebody else in the Facebook group that wanted to travel single as well. And they shared a room. We had another 2 people that paired up as well. Perfect strangers before they got on board. Well, they weren't perfect, but they had met on Zoom a couple of times, but it seemed to work out perfectly for them. So Tracy, I'd appreciate it if you could put any comment that you have or tips you have into finding a roommate. But I know, Ray, if they write into you, do you help connect, or do you direct them to the Facebook page?
I do both. We do both, actually. John and I both do. If somebody comes in asking for a roommate, we will direct everybody to the Facebook group, because that is the best way to get the best and latest information about the cruise and what's going on, as well as meeting other people that want to travel that may be single that are looking for a roommate. And once we do keep track of people that are looking for roommates, and then we'll go in and ask them if it's okay to introduce them via email, and then they take away from that and start talking to each other. And then if they decide to roommate together, they let us know, and then we book them.
Great.
So while we're talking about that sort of thing, we've got another couple of questions about I'm just sorry, this is why I don't do secretarial. We've got a couple of questions about classes and what time the classes are, and are they suitable for beginner quilters. So did you want to talk about that, or do you want me to talk about that?
The classes are going to be 8 to 12, and 1 to 5. So just depending if you're a morning person or an afternoon person, it gives you time to get up and walk around, and it won't be so stressful on your body just doing the half day. You will be having the same machine every day. It's not going to be a free-for-all. There'll be one person that uses it in the morning and one person that uses it in the afternoon. And you and I, Angie, have talked a lot about what level of quilting this is. So why don't you speak to that?
Okay, so we're offering. Oh, I was going to steal your thunder. We're doing the classes are completely suitable for beginners. It's everything like we do in 100 Days, where we support you through fabric choices, basic core techniques for making the units within patchwork blocks, understanding the importance of a 1/4 inch seam. That one I'll be taking the class too. You know, tips and tricks that we've learned over our years of sewing. And then because we know that some of you aren't complete beginners and some of you like a challenge, and we've got 8 days of sewing time available, we want to be able to challenge you and increase your skill set as well. So there's going to be some more stuff for the confident beginner or the intermediate. The other thing we find too is that in these classes where there's more experienced quilters, we just can't help ourselves but be helpful and sharing. And so a lot of times those more experienced quilters tend to get a little bit different out of the class because they get that joy of helping and passing on the skill set as well, because we'll all be talking. We're together for 15 days. There's lots of time and ample opportunity to go through what some of the issues that you might be facing are. So really, we've tried to tailor these classes so that everyone leaves having been stretched. Everyone leaves with a new skill set, and that they've got something that they can implement when they get home, that their sewing skills are improved permanently. It's not a flash in the pan kind of thing. We've got that time to spend with you. And as Karen said, there's 2 of us. And I would suspect that both of us will probably be at both sessions for all of the cruise, even though we're saying, no, we'll have some time to rest and recharge. We won't be able to help ourselves. So there's going to be lots of support, lots of ample time to ask questions and grow. Someone's asked what sewing machines we're going to be using. They're FAFFs. So as Karen stated earlier, the FAFF rep will be, I just love saying FAFF, the FAFF rep will be on board to be able to walk you through how to use the machines. They give a special kit to help you learn the ins and outs of your machines while you make a project. So all of that is included in your class fees and that class experience. So I hope that answers everybody's questions about that. If you've got any more, let me know.
Love in Seattle has asked, Ray, this is one for you. I don't drink alcohol. Do I still need to pay for unlimited drinks?
Yes, it's part of the package, because the package includes all your sodas, your waters, your specialty coffees and teas, etc.
Yeah, there's more about it than just alcohol. I'm not a big drinker either, but it included the cappuccino, it included the ginger ale, it included the sodas and all those other little things around. So, yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I don't drink alcohol either, and I don't drink tea or coffee or hot cocoa. So I'm planning on drinking my weight every day in soda. And really get my value.
I see Corrine has asked, if you pick the afternoon class, do you miss out on the excursions? No, because the excursions happen on the days when we're in port, and the classes happen on the days we're at sea.
Plus you can mix and match too. So if you book in for afternoons and then there's like a movie on or something you want to do with your hubby, to keep that spark alive, then you can always skip out of the class that afternoon, because it's not all teaching every class. There are classes where we're looking to help you consolidate, so you will be cutting and sewing more in those classes. So we're trying to be as flexible with you to make the most of this once in a lifetime trip as well.
Yeah,
But
this is a bucket list trip. This isn't just about sewing with Angie and we realize that there's just so much wonderful things to do out on shore. And you will make friends with everybody else on the ship too. So you're not going to be on your own if you choose, unless you choose to be. So I was just thinking today, I was putting on my down jacket for the first time since Alaska, and the coat has so many memories of going on the excursions with the other members of the boat, and going to the shop hops and things like that. And we'll always have Alaska.
yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
looking for.
Angie knew this question was coming. Joyce has asked, will you be using templates?
Yes, but the templates are totally optional. The pattern is written the same as kinship, where it will have rotary cutter and ruler instructions, and then the conversion for if you want to use the templates. So yes, template sewing, I'll walk you through how I use them, why I use them, you know, the tips and tricks that I've got, how to make everything, you know, with the templates as opposed to the other methods. So yeah, we'll walk you through everything. In the lead up to prepping for the course, for the cruise, sorry, you will get a list of supplies. The templates will be on that, because I like to give you value for money. So a lot of the templates, if you've bought them for kinship, will be completely usable for this. They're not compulsory. You don't need to have the templates. They're a nice to have. I am a big advocate of you buying what you need and using only what you need, and not spending money on frivolous stuff. So, and then if you want to purchase the templates for part of the trip, we'll offer you that ability as well. Which brings me to someone, Robin's asked, will there be fabric we can purchase on the ship? No. There will be a Fort Lauderdale shop hop prior to the cruise, where we will walk you through everything you need. You can buy supplementary fabric, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, we've got you covered.
There were some people that were telling me that they only fly with carry-on, therefore they couldn't bring their sharp things with them. So if you want to leave your sharp things behind, you can pick up some new ones in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. We've done everything we can to make sure that none of us get on that ship without exactly what we need, stuff to cover us. I've been on classes on land where the quilters share their fabrics as well. You don't have to, but I know what we're like, and we just can't help ourselves. Here, have a piece of this, have a piece of that. So, you know, there is those opportunities as well. So if you, you know, come with that mentality of making a communal quilt. But yeah, so all of that sort of stuff. Vivian has asked, I get seasick. How steady will the ship be? Good question, Vivian, because as a first-time cruiser, I too am concerned about the steadiness of the ship.
Well, Ray, you're going to have to answer that one. I've only been on one cruise to Alaska, and it couldn't have been smoother if I had paid for it.
Yeah, it was quite smooth. During that time frame, we're leaving from Fort Lauderdale, going through the Caribbean, heading towards the canal. Once we enter the canal area and we're transiting the canal, you're not going to feel anything, because there's hardly any waves at that point. But we're traveling during the Caribbean time, where relatively there are no storms. I will tell you this: I am a avid cruiser before I even got into the travel industry. I've done over 150 cruises, and I'm always terrified of getting seasick. And I have not been seasick on these big ships in a very long time, because there's also things that you can do. There's sea bands that you can bring with you that they use the acupuncture for your wrists. There's the non drowsy type of Dramamine, as well as you can get the one from your doctor. You'll see a lot of people on the ships, and they do this just as a precaution. And it's a little tab that they put a circle behind their ear, and everybody is just fine. I would say that the route that we're taking is quite calm. I will give you this example as well. Crossing Vancouver, BC, it was beautiful weather there, and all of a sudden it got windy and clouds were coming in, and we had called for 5 days in a row crossing the Pacific Ocean. So I would say it's not like your little fishing boat that you're going to be on like people do deep sea fishing. This is a
Did we lose him?
But there are things to say again.
We just lost you there for a second. You're back.
Oh, okay. I would say that relatively say, you know, I can never say that you're never going to get seasick, but the motion on these ships are not that bad at all. They're nothing like doing a fishing boat. If you're used to fishing boats and deep sea fishing, because I would never do that. I wish I had my sea bands with me. I'll show you what they are, because it's funny. But Karen, this was her first trip on a cruise ship. So
I was really worried, but luckily nothing happened. Anna has asked, what is the date of departure and the port of departure? So the date of departure is April 21st. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ray. And the port of departure is Fort Lauderdale. And
that's correct.
We get into Los Angeles on May 6th.
Yes, the day before my birthday.
6:30 in the morning.
We got to remember that,
we're
Ray.
gonna have to celebrate on the ship.
Or we could all go to Disneyland.
We're gonna have to celebrate that on the ship. Disneyland. Oh, that's what we can do. We'll do post tour to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Ray and I are gonna wear our ears all cruise.
Yeah. So I saw a question go by. Somebody asked if they can bring other projects to work on. Yes, you can bring whatever you want. You have that time on the sewing machine for the 7 days that we're at sea, and you need access to it. So I think that person also asked if you could sew at later times. I believe the room will be locked and you will not have access to it. Plus, you're sharing the machine with someone else. So it could get into some situations there. So it's 4 hours for 7 days. That's what you have.
8 days?
Sorry?
7 days?
8 days? It's 8 days at sea, but that's technically the day that we leave as well, is a day at sea. So gets tricky the way they count.
Me and Love in Seattle will be busy scoffing soda that day.
Ray's counting.
You do have full 8 days at sea.
We do.
You do have full 8 days at sea.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I got to look at the schedule again. I thought I just looked at it. Angie and I had mapped something out, so I must have forgotten a date, which I've never done before.
Never.
Oh,
somebody says we should go to Universal Studios instead of Disneyland.
I've never been, but I won't be able to go because our kids are massive Jurassic Park fan. And so if he finds out I went there, I'd be dead. But yes.
And we could never keep that a secret.
No.
Yes. No. Elizabeth says she will have her knitting. Yes. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're working on this time, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a champion knitter. I think you were able to knit while you walked, I think, Elizabeth. You were just so intent on it. Quite impressive. impressive knitting skills.
Actually, Denise, that's good. I might get back into my EPP too. Someone's asked whether there'll be fabric shops in our ports that we stop at. So we're in the process of looking into that. And there will be markets and things like that that you can go wandering through, but we are specifically having a look so we can give you a heads up before we go, of places within safe distance of the ship so that you can get back. That's my other fear, is that I miss the ship.
Yes, like not all day trips are the same. You get into ports at different times and you leave at different times. So even though we have all these ports of call, some ports of call are much shorter than others. Some are the full length of the whole day. So I've been looking into them. There's definitely ways that you can experience each place as a textile tour, but you're not going to find the fabric stores, especially if you're coming from the US, that you find in the US. There will be fabric stores, but there'll be a different type of fabric store.
Yeah. So, do we have a picture of the quilt we'll be working on?
Let's see if I can grab that.
And I'll just, Ray, do you off the top of your head have the prices from the cheapest to the most expensive, like a price range for the cruise? Obviously, it depends on what excursions you book and all of that sort of stuff, but base price?
The base price for the cruise itself, if you do a inside stateroom, it starts at $37.45.28 per person. That includes all your taxes, fees, and charges. Ocean view starts at $43.28.28, and a veranda, which is an expensive word for balcony stateroom, is $55.60.28 per person.
And that's all US dollars, isn't it?
That is correct.
So I'm putting the link to the booking form in the chat for people, so they can go and go and see everything. Tracy's just asked, if you're single, is there a best way to get in contact with another? Yep, we look after you. So if you are looking for a roommate, or you just want to connect with people before you go, we've got you covered. We'll be running exclusive cruise, participants only virtual sewing days before we go. Plus, we'll have the group that we can ask questions in and all those sorts of stuff. And we email you out everything you need to know with lots of time and lots of reminders and all that sort of stuff. So if you're looking to connect with other people, we've definitely got you covered. Don't let that get in your way. But yes.
I would say, Angie,
Yep.
I would also suggest them to join the Facebook group.
Yep, the Facebook group, which I will get a link to give my cranky face while I concentrate.
Okay, so I am throwing up here the picture of this year's quilt. Let's see if it goes. There we go. Let's bring it down to size here. Sorry. Whoops. I just have to resize the darn thing.
That's right, because I managed to find the link.
Okay, so another 100 blocks. And I'm just going to... So one side, technically, one half the quilt Angie designed and one half the quilt I designed. But I don't think of it as that. I think of this as maple leaf and eucalyptus. Angie came up, we worked with this idea, and I just love the name. I just think it's a lovely name. Maple and eucalyptus. So 100 blocks like normal, but we can do some interesting things with this, and that's what we're going to show everybody on the cruise.
So this, the blocks range in size from 2 inches by 2 inches all the way up to 8 inches by 8 inches. And there's a variation all the way through. So in the maple and eucalyptus version, the blocks are floating on the background, and we show you how to do the background as you go, so that by the time you finish 100 days, you've got the full top together. But we also give you options for using the blocks in other creative layout ways.
And just even going colorful. Here is Angie just playing with color on this one. So let me just resize that so people can see it. So
while you're doing that,
just even the rainbow version of maple and eucalyptus just makes it a different quilt. So lots and lots of fun things that we have to show you.
Yeah, and Corinne's asked, can we do FPP? Totally can. Like Kinship, you will have a version in FPP as well. All cruise participants will get a hard copy of the pattern and the digital patterns as well, which is the FPP, the expansion pack, and the normal pattern as well. So you can sew in whatever strategy works for you. But yeah, so this is the rainbow version of it, which, you know, we're all partial to a good rainbow. But yeah, so lots of fun.
So I see that we have a more technical question. I'm going to bring you back in for this, Ray. Can you book a room for more than 2 people?
I was getting ready to Ange on that because I saw that in the chat. You can. Oh, and that's Ginger. There are staterooms that accommodate more than 2. And Denise, I saw your question about the single. Yes, there are single accommodations. The pricing will be subject to which stateroom you know, window. If you have that, if you're interested in either of those, just email us and then we will go ahead and send you the details on what the pricing is.
So just in case you didn't, Ray faded out when you were listening. He says that the single rate is available. It just depends on what type of stateroom you're booking. So just get in contact with him and he will let you know.
And I'm giving out Ray's email address in the chat too.
And that booking link, do that link to the flyer, Angie.
Oh, yep, the link to the flyer. I'm hopeless.
Yeah.
You should get more help.
Click on contact for more info.
It's Thanksgiving in Canada, so Brandy was not available. Brandy was off enjoying the long weekend with her family. We miss her.
I'm hurt.
No, Brett, that was not against you. Here I am struggling on this side.
Oh, Street, that's a big. That is a link.
So we're at the 42-minute mark here. Is there any last questions we can answer before we leave with you? Just know that who's ever booked on the cruise, as of November, we will be having our first Zoom chat. Ray and John will go over some of the procedures that will be coming up and the steps that we have to go through. Angie and I will update you on anything to do with the pattern and your supplies that you need. And then you get to know your roommates and everybody else that's coming on board.
Oh, Struth, links aren't showing in the chat. There's some sort of setting that I need to do.
No. Maybe that's let me just see if I can do that. So what are the links that you need? You need the links to the
hang on.
Ray. Okay, let me just go to. They are all available on my website.
Yeah.
They're all available on the website. If you go to my homepage, justgetitdonequilts.com, The links for all 3 web sites will be there. Let's just see whether that comes through. Yep.
Yeah.
So you can ask for the brochure, you can book, and you can just contact Ray and John there.
Robin's asked, when can we sign up?
As soon as you sign up for the class. As soon as you sign up for the class.
Yeah.
So Ray and John will take that.
Yes, we will be sending out, for those that have already booked the cruise, you've already made your deposit on the cruise, you will be receiving an email from us to register for your classes, as well to register if you're interested in the, how do you say that, Karen? Shop hop in Fort Lauderdale.
We need to get you on a couple of more quote cruises.
Yes, I know. Because we'll need a minimum of participation on that, and that will go out to everybody that has already booked. And once you are booked, then you will be given access to the registration for the classes, as well as the shop Fort Lauderdale. I
see Marilyn. Marilyn was on the Alaskan cruise last year. Glad to see you here. You're looking for the Facebook link. It's actually, Marilyn, it's actually the same group that went to same Facebook page for the trip to Alaska. We just changed the name to Panama.
Corrine is asking about excursion costs. You want me to take care of that?
Yep.
Please.
Okay. So Corrine will depend on what the excursion is. Now, I will tell you this, it's not going to be as expensive as Hawaii and some places in the world, but it will be as inexpensive as 50 to 60 US dollars to as high as 200, because they also offer, we're talking about the excursions that Celebrity offers for the ports that we will be visiting. And there can be short ones. The shorter the excursion, of course, the more inexpensive it is. And but they do a really good job of this. And I would say it's anywhere from $60 on up. Average, I would say, is probably going to be about 100 US dollars.
That's exciting. I'm already Googling and watching all the National Geographic docos on the places we're going and the Travel Channel, and I think we should form a club of people who book to go where we share all the exciting stuff like that.
Well, I found I really liked, I watched a lot of cruise videos just before I went, and sorry, I'm trying to run this thing as well. I'm in the middle now. I watched a lot of videos about what to do when you get to the ports. And I found that gave us, since we had never been on a cruise before, it just gave us a little bit more confidence when we went through. And the excursions we booked them all through Celebrity. But I think this time if I found something that I really wanted to do that wasn't through Celebrity, I would have a little bit more confidence to do.
And I'm a first-time cruiser.
And that's a good point too.
Sorry. Can I say that again? Ray?
Sorry.
You got to speak straight at your mic, Ray.
I thought I heard Angie there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to say about that is, as we get closer to the departure, and those that have been with us on Alaska cruise, they know this, we have a set amount every 3 weeks, about approximately, I would say, 90 days to 120 to 90 days away from departure. We'll start having Zoom calls separately from what Angie and Karen are going to be doing specifically for classes. This will be just to address any Q&A and to give you the tidbits that'll make it much easier for you for boarding, getting on the ship, what to do while you're on the ship, and anything that has to do with the cruise itself. So just know that we will be there to hold your hand all the way through, because we're also coming on the ship as well and escorting the group. Now, excursions are I'm going to give you a little tidbit here. Excursions are great, and yes, Celebrity offers these. Now, what they will tell you is you need to go on ours, because if the excursion is running late, the ship will wait for you. And that is true, okay? So if you do decide, many of you that are thinking about traveling and have cruised before, and you may have your preferred vendors that you utilize that are not Celebrity, just make sure that they have a disclosure and they guarantee to get you back to the ship before it departs, or if you miss it, that they provide the transportation to meet the ship should you miss the ship. I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind, because there are a few vendors that do that. And as we get closer, we'll share more information about that as well.
Great. Well, thank you everyone for being with us this evening. It's been a blast getting together with you all. Angie from the future, from Saturday. I appreciate you being here with us. To all my fellow Canadians, have a fantastic Thanksgiving. There is no video this week, just because life gets busy. So there will be an interview with Karen's Quilt Circle next week. And of course, Angie and I are back for the Karen and Angie show a week from Tuesday. So it's been great seeing everyone. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to follow the links, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.